Hello, future Hemant, and today I'll be talking about the J2 2022 and academic performance, all those stuff, and based on what my say is based on my performance. So yeah, this year J 2022 is going to be different with four attempts, and also many people not preparing for it. First, I want to start with the end. J 2021 or 2020 result of whatever you got is not the end. J 2022 result, whatever you're going to get, is not the end. In fact, it's not even the start to getting a good career. A lot of people can make a lot of money through business. Studies and being extremely rich have almost no connection at all. But studies have a connection to financial stability. So you won't be rich, but you'll be stable, like with with a proper house and proper income, 9 to 5 income. Also, the job is also a stable job. You'll have a job for a long time. You'll have a guaranteed job, guaranteed salary, pre-allotted work times. So you can have work life balance better in that kind of streams. In fact, the college is not even the start of building your good career. In college you can score better marks, get into a better stream, impress people in internships, and get a better job than others in your same college, get a better stream than others in your same college. So from the same college, you can get a much better job offer from than your others, and your college marks do matter. So, what parents say are right. Like you have to study for this the 2020 this thing. There's no other alternative. You can do hobbies like guitar play. You can all the music and all that stuff. But those are not solid incomes. Your parents are a little right in forcing you to study to JE. But what your parents are wrong about is saying that get uh get a 12 get good in 12th. That'll be the end of it. Your life is set. This is the same lie they've been saying since the starting. So they've been saying that for 10th, for 8th, for 5th, for my parents since third grade itself. Oh, third grade math is easy, fourth grade's gonna be harder, fourth grade math is easy, fifth grade math's gonna be harder. It's no, it's not. It's gonna be harder obviously, but you'll grow by then. You'll become better, you'll become smarter, so it actually becomes easier than harder. So if you ask my opinion to kids and to parents, playgroup till 8th grade doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I repeat, doesn't matter at all. Ninth and 10th grade also, they only consider it once for SATs. Like for SATs, or there are like a few weird colleges that consider ninth and 10th marks, which can easily be avoided. So even that doesn't matter. Ninth, 10th people do worry about it for picking a good stream in 11th, but if you go to PU, you can get whatever stream you want for horrible marks also. And if you want good science and math coaching, then go for a coaching institute like let's say Allen or something. That's where I am. I've taken state board, so there's less pressure from that. And the only reason people avoid state board in terms of pressure is because of one extra language, let's say French. Trust me, French is very easy. Even it's for easy for me because I've studied French already in my school age. So I studied 6 years of French. I'm doing 2 years of French here. So and that 2 years is fresh from the start. So I get full marks without preparing at all. And even if you pick any other second language like Hindi or something, it's a lot easy. It's a lot easier than CBSE and ICSE. CBSE and ICSE focus on subjective kind of questions, subjective type questions. So if you're preparing for their boards, you have to learn science, whatever science and math you're learning for competitive exams. You have to learn them again in a subjective way just to pass their exams. And even 11th 12th boards, there's only a minimum criteria. Like you have to only get first class, which is about, it's first class 65%. But colleges usually, there's no criterion for all olympiads and college admissions. You have to just get a bare minimum of like 75%. So if you get the 30% in practicals, and if you score barely above half in the actual exam, which is already very easy, even though it's subjective, you can easily get above 75%. No one cares about. There's only a certain lim. There's only a certain this. There's only a certain limit above which you shouldn't bother much about state boards. So 75% is good enough. But 11th and 12th boards, 11th and 12th studies do matter. They matter a lot more than 10th. So you have to give it a lot more importance than what you give in 10th. 10th you can enjoy, chill, whatever, no one cares. Even your 10th board marks doesn't matter. Even if you don't get science stream in your school, let's say your school, you can still join state board and get your stream whatever you want. And PU board, you can get 80% easily. But if 11th and 12th does matter, some colleges, let's say state colleges over here in Karnataka, they consider half of your marks from KSET and half of your marks from board. So here, like, depending on the college you go, but there are quite a few colleges that consider your 11th and 12th marks. So it matters a little but not much. And if you really want it to be easy, go for state board. State board's easier than CBSE any day. Trust me, man. When I say this, say state board is easier. Just because CBSE is more classy, better teacher, better teaching and all doesn't matter. If you really want the teaching, go for a coaching institute. If you really want your studies to be easier, go for state board studies and take integrated with the coaching institute. And trust me, in this recent years, you do need a coaching institute, man. Even 25 to 26 years ago, when only like not even 1 lakh, not even 2 or 3 lakh people wrote JEE mains, even then you needed coaching. So now you need it more than ever. So if you don't go for coaching, don't expect anything out of science stream. Coaching is very important. It's like a necessity now if you want to score good. The bitter truth, but yeah, it is. Self-study doesn't work. No, not many people have this as motivation. There are only like the few people in the top, like top 100 or top 200, who can self-study, but the rest of us can't. We just can't. There's the answer to every question out there on Topper and Doubtnut. So every question, every doubt you have, that doubt of every question you ever encounter, solutions there and Doubtnut and Topper, and it's very easy to find out if you have the app. Just take the picture of the question, you'll get the answer. And classes regarding to every concept is out there on YouTube itself. There are Indian teachers who explain very well. Many people talk about it too. The Indian teachers explain the topics which your school teacher can't do well enough. There's like lectures to every topic. There's solution to every doubt right on the net. But the problem is distractions. You will get distracted. Trust me, you will get distracted. There's just no other way to it. So yeah, coaching institutes are still important. Maybe in the future, when there are better material on internet, and when services become more, when even, how do I say this, when even monitoring services, let's say like a teacher looking at you to make sure you study, if even that becomes free, if colleges, institutions somehow manage to make that also free, then maybe then coaching institutes won't be required, but for now they are. So yeah, back to what I was saying. Till 10th marks doesn't matter. 11th, 12th for few colleges does matter. And if you study the Olympiad questions good enough, like if you prepare for JEE well enough, you will get above 90% in boards. If you don't get 90% in boards and you didn't study for it, that's a clear indication you didn't study for it. You didn't study for the Olympiads either. Not Olympiads, the competitive exams. And if you're bad at science, please go to commerce. Commerce doesn't offer bad jobs. It's a very easy routine. Schooling for 11th, 12th commerce is cheap. College for commerce is cheap. And if you get a good rank, if you get good in that, which you will, and since there's no competition in commerce, since everyone goes to science, you can get good marks easily in commerce. You can get better than others in commerce, and you can also focus in commerce. It's not an easy writing subject also. So if you put more work into it, you will get better marks, and you can get good jobs in business accountancy. If you're bad in science, especially in a competitive place where science is competitive like India, you will get a horrible college unless you shell out a lot of rupees. Trust me, you can get good colleges. You can always get good colleges by spending a lot of money. But as long as you're not doing that, go to commerce if you're bad at science. You can go to a private college, like spending 10 lakhs spending 10 or more than 10 lakhs per annum, and get jobs equivalent to those got offered to NIT graduates. And if you can shell out even more cash, you can go to foreign universities like what my cousin did, going to Waterloo. You can literally settle over there with a much better job. And since Canada healthcare is much better there, so even you have a more secure, you have a better standard of living there. The more money you spend, you can get a better college, but even by hard work, you can get into top IITs by hard work. And IIT is more of reputation than just getting a good job. Like, you can, for the next 4 years, and even after that, you can proudly go around saying, yes, I'm an IITian and all that. Even that has been devalued since everyone has been focusing on IIT, since many people get IIT anyway. Like, the top colleges, like only the top IIT colleges matter now, like Madras or Bombay. You can go around saying with pride that you are IIT Bombay and all that. And you can get bad in college. You can't just settle and chill in college just because you got a good JE 2020 rank, 2020 or 2021. You have to focus on college. That's a fake hope parents give you. Again, saying 10th, saying how it's just like your parents saying 10th is useful, and right after 10th the exams get over, saying 10th is useless, which is it not? Which it's not. And your life is not set after 10th. Your life becomes even more intense after 10th. Same logic goes for 12th. 12th college is harder. And college science is harder than 12th science. Don't just think that you life will be smooth sailing in college. You have to actually put in more work in college than school. It's just that you don't have the pressure of 11th and 12th. So that makes parents think that, oh, college is easy just because you don't have the pressure. But by that time you've grown up, and but the studies are harder, and you can drop out of college if you don't perform well. There's so many people in IIT seats who've secured an IIT, but they drop out in second or third year because they didn't perform well. Again, yeah, thanks to that mentality, saying that, oh, if I reach college, then I'm set. If you reach college, you're not set. Even if you finish college, you're not set. If you finish college with job, your life becomes even more stressed out. So there's really no end to this. 11th and 12th is where the stress starts, and then college, you still have the stress of getting a job, getting placements, and studying well, and doing all this kind of all the variety of projects just to get a good placement. And even after you get job, you'll go behind your employer, getting a hike or getting a better position. You'll keep applying for better jobs, and when you get a little better job, you get a little more money. You then again you think about business and investing, and then when you, even after you've done all that business and investing, you have properties now. You would think about marrying and settling down, and even after settling down, you after settling down and marrying and having children, it gets much more stressful. So 11th and 12th is really where it starts. So there's really no end to the stress you're feeling at 11th and 12th. It only gets more in college if you're focused in life. If you're not focused in life, you won't get the rewards of it. And if you really want the rewards of it, you have to stress out even harder. Job is even more stressful. Using your money in right situation, investing in the correct place is even more stressful, because there's a high chance you'll fail in that. Even after settling well, and even after making a lot of money, again marriage, again another problem. You're gonna have a lot of problems, even in relationships between the age of 20 and 30. The problems just increase. There's no decrease from the time of 11th and 12th. So please don't think it's all over with 11th and 12th. If you're satisfied with the salary you get right after coming out of college and put no work on it at all, that's the salary you'll get for the rest of your life. And trust me, that salary is not enough. When my dad first graduated out of CBIT in Andhra Pradesh, that was the top college at that time, or almost the top college at that time, in private. Placements always came to there. Guess what his salary was? His first salary was 12,000. About 12,000. Do you know how much that is? In dollars at that time, that's about 12,000. So, 240 dollars per month. That's horrible. People make more than $240 every day now. My dad makes more than 12,000. And then he thought making 5,000 was enough for living a bachelor life. He makes more than 5,000 every day now. And that's not enough. his salary has increased. Like his salary has increased tenfold, 20-fold from what he earned that time ago. That's the same trend that's gonna happen with this thing also. Like you earn 20 lakhs now, you think it's enough, but it's not. Who knows? In let's say in 10-15 years, you make 3 crores a month. But that time the value of rupee depreciated so much that freshers who make it out of college, if out of top colleges at that time, they get a salary straight of 5 crore every month. The salary you make now, if you're gonna be satisfied with it, that's the salary you'll be getting for the rest of your life. Pretty much that. You'll be in that range itself. You won't have a scope of improvement. Everyone in youth wants an improvement. And with the value of rupee depreciating so fast, 20 lakhs per month, 20 lakhs per annum actually. I meant 20 lakhs per annum. In the future coming times, 20 lakhs per annum won't be enough. It won't be enough to even cover your basic necessities like food and all. You'll have some or the other loan and all. So that's why don't settle. And also don't this JE 20, and there's a huge difference in pure science colleges and IIT colleges. Pure science colleges need more of a curious mind, whereas applicative colleges need IITs need more of an applicative mind. So there's a difference between curious and applicative. Both of them are smart. Let's say when I was small, one of my friends did a trick to me where he he took one object, put it behind his back, and got two objects. So a curious mind would ask, how do you do it? How do you do it? He'd try to find out about how do you do it? Like the mechanics you use to hide, or where do you hide the ball? How do you make a new ball out of thin air? That's the questions the curious mind would ask, and he would find his answers. Of course, my friend was cheating. It was thermocol balls, I guess. I gave him one thermocol ball, he gave two thermocol balls. If I was a curious mind, I would have asked how he done that. But you know what I did? Took the two thermocol balls, gave it back to him again. He made four. Then I took the four thermocol balls back from him, gave him 10 rupees. That's an applicative mind. Applicative mind is also smart, but he doesn't care about how it works. He just uses it to his advantage. So that's the main difference between pure science and J entrance exam, KVPY and J entrance examinations. For pure science, you just need to be curious. You need to keep asking how. And for J exams, you need to be applicative. You should shut up, not ask about the hows. If you're given a formula and you're given a question, just use the formula in the question, get the answer done. And in computer field, you need to have an applicative mind, more of a curious. You're not inventing anything new. You're just testing and developing what's already there. So you don't need to ask about how this command works, how that command works. Just put it and use it. Pure science, of course, you go into science, you become a scientist. So scientists always ask, you know that. The thing is, nowadays students do it for neither. They just do it for the money. They just do it for getting a good college and getting a good job. No one even does it out of interest. There's curiosity. There's an applicative mind and there's curiosity mind. People don't have both. They just blandly give away the exam. And if you're a curious mind, you should go towards competitive exams like IUQP, INAO and KVPI and all that. You will get good colleges, you will get good jobs in that. If you write good research and thesis. Yeah, that's kind of probable. Depends on if you write a good thesis or not. Depends on if whatever experiments you're doing are correct. Yeah, and just because an applicative minds go into IITs, which give them proper timed 9 to 5 computer jobs, but people don't base what college they should go to based on their mind. They just base it off the job they get, and hence who knows? Curious minds may go into applicative field. They might not be interested with their job, and they'll work half-heartedly, having no scope in that job. It's just sad. It's just disheartening to see people go like that. And also this thing, please be satisfied with your rank. I've seen so many people out there get a 95, 97 percentile, and who are like, oh, I want 99 percentile. People who got an 85, 80 percentile to be like, I want to qualify for JEE Advanced. I want to get 90 percentile. People who get 90 percentile saying, oh no, I'm not satisfied with this, I want 99.5 percentile. There's nothing wrong in hoping, but the thing is, you get disappointed when you don't get it. Disappointed results in a low mood, which means you won't do good in college. You should be hungry for rank and at the same time accept the rank you already have. Let's say in an attempt, you gave the first attempt, you got 97 percentile. Second attempt, you got 95 percentile. You're aiming for 99, fine. But at this, you should aim for 95, try hard for 95, but at the same time, be satisfied with your 97 percentile. Work, like you have to accept the fact that your best is 97. You have to aim for the stars, but also realize the fact that your feet are on the ground. Don't forget that your feet are still tied strongly with the ground. And also don't, like, there's a maximum amount of hours you can study to get a good be efficient in whatever you're studying. Let's say 5 to 6 hours is the maximum. Don't study beyond that. Also get 8 hours of proper sleep. There are a lot of other things you're wasting your time on than just studies. Like, let's say you have 24 hours in a day, 8 hours goes for sleeping, 16 hours. Let's say even if 7 hours goes for classes, you have 11 hours of free time. Even if 2 hours goes for daily doing stuff, you have 9 hours of time. Don't cut off time for sleep. There are a lot of other things, other useless things that you're doing, you can just cut off straight away. If you plan it well, you don't even need to sacrifice your sleep, like 8 hours of sleep. The only reason you're sacrificing sleep is because you're attached to something that there are these few tasks that you have to do and you can't get rid of. That's the only logical reason I see why you should then can cut off your sleep hours. And if it's required or not, yeah, it can be required. Studies is not all important, even though even in 11th and 12th, there are things that are more important than studies. And also, don't have this hype of IIT. You see, most of the colleges take your mains rank. Many colleges take your. The only college that takes your advanced rank is IIT. And there are only 16,000 seats in IIT. So if you're getting below 98 percentile, then your chances in IIT are grim. If you're a person who doesn't score that well, then ditch the top colleges. You should be smart with where you're writing exams to. You should know your place. If you're getting below 98 percentile, don't focus on JEE Advanced, focus on JEE Mains, and try to get into a good NIT. You should aim for top colleges, and at the same time you should be aware of your place. You should know that you're capable of only this much. You should know your place. Because if it was just one straight examination, you could have just given your best and choose whatever you want. But JEE Mains and Advanced are two different examinations. And if you focus on one, you're diverting attention of the other one. If you focus on JEE Advanced, you won't score well in Mains. If you score well in Mains, you won't score well in Advanced. And just because Advanced is tougher doesn't mean you're getting a better rank in Mains. Mains is more about applicative mind again, in different ways also. There are also very smart ways you can approach the question. And it's more about time management, finishing the questions fast and having some sense, rather than fighting hard and solving the question anyway. In JEE Mains, if you don't understand a question, ditch it. There's smart ways which you can get around questions in the mains. But in Advanced, you have to fight with the question till the end. You have to keep solving the question until you get an answer. In JEE Mains, you have to be faster than smarter. So yes, if you focus in Advanced, just because Advanced paper is tougher than Mains doesn't mean if you focus in Advanced, you're going to get good in Mains also. That doesn't matter. And unless you're really enthusiastic about studies, don't limit your study time to 6 hours. Don't go beyond 6 hours. Unless you really have an interest in, and if you really want my advice, unless you really have an interest in science or maths, don't even come to this field. And if you're coming to this field, don't even expect that great of a rank. The only reason you would still come to science, even despite all this, is because of your parents' influence. I know parents' influence can be harmful, but sometimes you have to blindly follow them, not because they're telling us right, because we don't have any other option. Even I I came into science because I like maths. So the only place where maths was taught properly was in PCM stream. I was pretty good in maths. Even if I didn't study, even if I didn't focus on the exams at all, I qualified in IOQM and I qualified to write INMO this year itself. That shows that I do have a grip in math. I am not that fast, but I can solve questions. My interest of math is what got me here. I at least have some interest in science. Many people who don't have no interest in science just come here just for a better college and a better job. And even then, I wouldn't suggest studying in this literally destroying your 11th and 12th life just for a college. I know this is kind of time waste when you can just spend a little more and get into a private college instead of just killing yourself. But thing is, I have an excuse for this. Like, since my 11th started right after the lockdown, so even if I didn't struggle in my 11th and 12th, there's nothing I could have done, and no one's over enjoying out there. So might as well study since you're anyway locked up in your house. I do agree, studying for so long in 11th and 12th is just a waste of time. But thing is, in my case, not in others, I didn't have an opinion, and my parents forced me. I'll agree that. The only thing that's the only connection I have to these studies is that I like maths, and recently I'm starting to like physics also. That's the only reason that keeps me studying. That's it. There's literally no other connection. And there are many people, at least I have some interest. There are many people who just got forced by their parents, who just study for a college. That's it. They just blindly study with no interest. And it is possible to study the subject without having any interest. It's just like doing daily chores even though you don't like it. It is possible to, yeah, and it is possible to get a good rank if you struggle and kill yourself in 11th and 12th. And trust me, it's study till a limit where you can keep the balance between mental activity and physical activity, where you can keep a healthy balance between all those activity. Don't push so much. 5 hours is healthy. Beyond 5 hours is kind of punishing. And don't kill yourself. Don't just study more. Just don't go overboard with studies. Cut off your ties with the world. Stay away from all social gatherings and all, just for a slightly better college. Study till when you can. Only do healthy studies. Don't go beyond it. Don't just keep studying just for a slightly better college. There's so many other skills you need in life, like influencing others, talking with others nicely, that even if you that can't be achieved even after you get a good college. So you need to focus on that. And don't give excuses saying, I won't do this because I'm in my 11th and 12th. I won't do that because I'm in my 11th and 12th. Again, as I told, you're always going to be busy in this life if you're going towards engineering side. Be it with 11th, 12th, college, job, or married life. You're always going to be busy. Don't use it as an excuse. Let's say if someone wants to cycle with you for a long distance, don't just say it's my 11th so I can't come. Give time for it. If you're going to sacrifice time for this 11th and 12th, you're going to do the same thing in college, because you think college is easy and you relax there, while college is not easy. You're never going to have free time. You have to make free time. And yeah, don't sacrifice on your sleep. 8 hours is the must. And when your parents force you to go into IIT, it's not your fault, but it's not your parents' fault either. Just saying it for your good. And trust me, in this country, you have no better option. They have seen everything. So even though their method is wrong, their intent is not. They still want you to get a good future. And don't just bunk studies to go do other stupid things with your friends and get addicted to random stuff. That the peer pressure is worse. Yeah, peer pressure can be worse than parental pressure in some ways. It's just that the pressure is the same. It's just that the parents are pressuring you to have a good life, whereas peer pressure is getting you addicted to stuff you shouldn't. So yeah, your parents are wrong, but for now at least listen to them, even though they are wrong, because you have no other choice. It's the bitter truth. You have to just accept it. And fighting against them will get you nothing, even though they are wrong. I've been in that path. What do I get from fighting them anyway? Nothing. So there's no point. Just shut up and study. And college, just because you get into an IIT college doesn't mean it restricts you from having your dream job, like getting into the music or video editing field. That even video editing is related to computers. Even after college, you can pursue whatever you like. And college and this 11th and 12th is college is actually the true test of finding whether you really like it or not. If you really have the desire to pursue a certain field even after finishing your college, that means you truly like it. If you just lose the interest of going into that field, let's say after you finish your college or after if you get into a good college, then you don't like that field. You just find it interesting, but you have no real passion for it. So yeah, that's all I had to say. So I, and also I don't wish everyone a good luck in JEE. So and also common tips, I never I never gave common tips in this video, because the problem with JEE is that if you give any good tip, everyone's going to follow it, and then that becomes a necessity. So I wish you all bad luck in JEE, so that I get a better rank. It's not selfish, it's just competitive. The problem with JEE is that if there's a certain trick or an exploit to get better marks, everyone does it, and then that just pressurizes the students who are actually smart. So that's the reason why general advice doesn't work in JEE. Good luck for JEE. That's all is bullshit. That all is bullshit. I want you all to get bad, so I get good. It's not sadistic. It's just how competitive works. Doesn't mean I rely on your bad efforts just to score good. I will try my best, but I don't wish you guys any good luck. And you shouldn't wish anyone else too. That's the problem with JEE Advanced or JEE Mains for that matter. No matter what change, no matter what change they make in the exams, it's gonna make an advantage. No, not everyone's gonna get an advantage. Even even the 4 attempt change, it's good for people who try to fluke and try to guess all the options, because if they screw up in 1 or 2 exams or 3 exams at most, there will be one exam where they guess 6 or 7 options and get all of them right, improving them rank like about 8,000 or 9,000, getting a much better college than what they should deserve. I think 2 attempts is the best. Like if you miss one because of emergency reasons, you can still plan for the second. 2 attempts was the most healthiest. It is better than 1 attempt, but 4 attempts is overboard. It feels like the NTA is just doing it for exam fees, and they do get a lot by exam fees. 15 lakh into 700. If I get my math right, it's about 100 crores. 100 crores into 400 crores. So more attempts, every attempt they increase 100, they get an additional 100 crores. So I feel like all these exam fees and having multiple attempts is just a means for them to get more money just off exams. And if there's an attempt that, and I won't be giving you any advice, because any advice that, even doubt not, this is an advantage to people who are randomly just studying randomly without any coaching institutes and stuff. There's no clear advantage for everyone by the changes in JEE Mains. If there is an advantage to a few people in JEE Advanced, the rest all will face a disadvantage. 4 attempts, for example, 4 attempts is bad for people who prepared or very solidly to give their very best on the single attempt, the people who are staying safe. And good changes are those which favor the hardworking people. The 4 attempts definitely doesn't favor the hardworking people, so that's a bad change. But at least glad JEE Advanced has only 1 attempt. That having many attempts in Advanced is overboard. And yeah, I will be giving my best in JEE Advanced. So wish me luck. I won't wish you luck if you're right. It sounds very sadistic, but realistically, it's not. I want you to get bad so I can get good. And I really hope everyone doesn't score well, doesn't score well due to this pandemic. And I hope nobody studied well because of this. So that clears my chance of getting into a good college. And really, I will fight a lot against this system. Maybe in the future, maybe when I'm dependent on my own legs, I will fight against this system of education in the future. Not that much, but I will contribute at least a little towards changing the system. some rally or something, I will participate or host in, because the system has to change. How many people suffer? How many people have to study hours and hours just because their parents force them to, even though they don't like the subject? This is the wrong system. This has to change.